All right, guys, welcome to All for United on this wonderful Tuesday morning. I hope you're all doing very well. And welcome to today at Man United. And today we've got loads of news to get through. There's lots of transfer news. As you know, we are approaching deadline day, which means it is silly season galore. Before we get into the main stories, I'm welcoming the rest of my Indian strike force here today. I've got Alan and Arpan. How are we doing, guys?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Alan, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing great here.
We've literally, the Indians have taken over All for United today. Just for that alone, like the video, because why not? Let's get into the main stories then. So we'll start with Alex Telles, because that's the closest deal that's going to happen. So Simon Stone, was it this morning? I think it was this morning. He's tweeted out basically that United are close to an agreement. Obviously, Romano yesterday came out and said we've reached personal terms. No surprises there. We seem to be reaching personal terms with everyone. But we're not agreeing on the fee. Now, Simon Stone has reported that United do not believe he's worth £18 million. We think that for a player that is available on a free in January, he's only got a couple of months left on his contract, we can go back for him in January and get him for free. That's United's view. Are we playing around a bit too much? Alan, I'll start with you. Is this getting a bit ridiculous now? Should we just pay up the money, or are we right in saying that maybe we could get him for less, considering we can get him for free?
Well, in my opinion, I don't think we'll get him for less. Whatever Porto's asking us for, we'll end up caving in. If it's 20 million euros, we'll be giving 20 million euros. Maybe we might reach the 18 million valuation with add-ons. I think the deal is close because Simon Stone usually tweets negatively before a deal approaches the end. So it's glad that we got a tweet from Simon Stone. And then Howard Nurse as well from BBC, who's said to be the boss of Simon Stone, also said that the deal is approaching very close, like talks are moving up slowly towards the agreement of a fee. So let's see. Hopefully by deadline day, we can get this signing over the line.
I was about to say just then, Simon Stone is, one of those where when he tweets something negative, it usually happens the opposite. Just a quick good morning to Mark. Good morning, Mark. How are you doing?
Mark.
Morning, Mark.
Up and weigh in. What do you reckon?
Well, I think we already need somebody. Like we haven't signed anybody since Van der Beek, and I do not think that 18 million is that huge of money to pay. And as Alan said, we would end up caving in, but we would try. Woodward would try his level best to get to the negotiation table, and after that, he would cave in anyway. Because at the end of the day, we cannot just go on window shopping all day long and not buy anything of worth at all. So tell us. And since you guys mentioned Simon Stone, he always tweets something negative right before the deal is done. And I think it's a done deal. Yeah,
this one does feel like it's reaching towards the final stages. It's always felt like a very realistic deal, whereas with maybe the Sancho deal, which we'll get into in a minute, that one's always felt like, this may or may not happen. Teller seems to be like the easy one. Let's go and get it done. And as we all know, I'm not a fan of Luke Shaw. Let's go and get the left back sorted because then I don't have to watch him play. Mark's come in. Tellers is a must now. Sancho must be done this summer. Maybe a surprise package too. Busy week. Surprise package. I wonder who that might be.
Okay. I know. Just make sure that that's Mark or Fabrizio. Like Fabrizio might have hacked into Mark's account.
Yeah, Fabrizio's just hacked into Mark's account and given us some news. I don't know. Right, we'll get into our next story then. So we've mentioned Sancho. Obviously, the latest rumours this week was that we could expect United to make a bid for Sancho. We don't know how much that bid will be. There's rumours that it's something much lower than the 108 million that Dortmund are asking for. So what's the point in bidding? I don't know. But that's not our point here today. It's also stated yesterday, I think it was around mid-afternoon that the rumour started. United are also looking for alternatives to Jadon Sancho in case they can't get an agreement done. One of those names has been linked throughout the summer. Well, is it even summer anymore? I don't know what it is. Ismaila Sarr from Watford. Yesterday, it came out in the Telegraph that United had inquired into Ismaila Sarr's availability, and Watford were willing to do only a permanent deal. Now, the initial story was that United would be looking to do a loan. Yesterday, it came out that Watford would only be willing to do a permanent deal for £40 million. which is a ridiculous fee for Ismail Sarr. I'm not going to lie. I do like him as a player. I think he could be a decent little deal for us until Sancho comes in. But is he worth the money? I'll go to you first. What do you reckon? Ismail Sarr, do you rate him?
I do rate him since he scored against Liverpool. So yeah, I do rate him. And the thing is that now the question remains: if we're gonna spend 40 mils on a championship level winger, like he is in championship right now, and we already have Dan James, so it's like two squad players on the same side, and then we already have Mason Greenwood coming in from the right. So what exactly is the plan? I do not see a proper plan. If it can either be Sancho or Ismail Sarr. I do not think that if we are gonna buy Ismail Sarr, I do not think we're thinking really strongly about Sancho, because I think Zork had tweeted or said it was somewhere in the middle that Sancho has signed a new deal with Dortmund, but with Dortmund it's a bit tricky right now. If you look at the entire situation, and if you see how the tone of the journalists have changed throughout the time, through the season, through the transfer window, you would see that in the beginning there was a fair share of conviction. Like whatever they used to say with conviction. Nowadays, slowly it's becoming more of a 50-50 kind of a thing, and now it's 80-20. If you ask me, as much as I think it's an 80-20 kind of a situation, either we either sign him or we don't. I'm not really sure about going for one player. We have been doing that for a long time now. We have been going for quick fixes and not signing, not addressing the exact problem. So I do not think I rate Ismail Sarr, but the condition we are talking about will sign Ismail Sarr for now and then Sancho later. And make Sancho wait till summer again, make Sancho wait till another transfer window. I don't think that's gonna happen. And I think given Bayern Munich, Dortmund is the feeder club for Bayern Munich, so Bayern Munich might swoop in and take him if he's going for free. I don't know what the situation is, but I would say either Sancho or Ismail Sarr, not Ismail Sarr now and later Sancho. I'm not really in for that.
Yeah, I do question that. I'm not sure how reliable that sort of situation would be. Loads of people weighing in on Ismail Sarr. Jacob, good morning. How you doing? I've got a Leeds fan here. What's going on with it? Why are you watching us? Why are you watching a United fan channel? Anyway,
we're getting pretty famous.
Mark's come in and said Sarr would be ideal. Dortmund looking at him as their replacement for Sancho, which is a good point. That was a link earlier on. Dortmund are obviously looking at replacements for Sancho, but it seems like United are doing a bit of a panic buy to me. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Jacob says Sarr has never wowed me. I think a lot of players are better than him for cheaper, which is a good point, because I was about to raise the point. I'll ask Alan once I've read this comment. A player that had 5 goals and 4 assists last season. Granted, he had a very good performance against Liverpool. 5 goals and 4 assists. That's 9 goal contributions in about 28 games, I think it was. Is that £40 million? Is that what £40 million gets you now, Alan?
No, mate. I'll tell you one thing. I feel Ismail Sarr will be a substitute for us. I feel Mason Greenwood will be in our starting 11, even if we buy or loan Sarr from Watford. Because he's a right winger. I agree with that. But in terms of the statistics like goals, assists, number of shots on target, and I think Greenwood is ahead of him. But in terms of a right winger, we really need a right winger right now in our squad, because Ole has been asking for one since his arrival at United. That's why we bought Dan James last season. But then it didn't turn out well. But still, he helped us in quite a few games. But then bringing in Sarr will be it's an alternative choice. I don't think it'll happen. I hope it doesn't. I think it could be a smoke screen for Sancho, maybe.
A smoke screen. Well, you know what? That's an interesting theory, because let's not forget when we signed Lukaku, we had Morata spray painting his hair red, and then he ended up going, hang on a minute, I'm not signing for United, I'm signing for Chelsea. So you never know, it could be a smoke screen. Loads of people weighing in at the minute. Reese has said, good morning, lads. Doing a great job. Cheers, Reese. Thank you. Hope you're enjoying the show. Make sure to like the video if you are. United are taking a huge risk, says Mark. Sancho next summer is no guarantee, and United are naive to think so. Definitely. And he's coming again with another good point. What about if we buy Sancho? What happens to Mason? It's the same principle, 4-player rotation. That's a good point, actually, because I think a lot of people forget that rotation is a thing. A lot of people in the FIFA era seem to think, oh, you have to play every game, this, that, and the other. But a squad's there to be used. Use the squad fully. Use the squad to its maximum potential. But as Arpan said, 2 squad players in the same position, is that really the best idea? Does this mean we don't get Sancho if we sign him? I don't know. Sancho's a big no for me. Sarr. Sarr's a bit. I was going to say Sancho's a big no. That would be a bit of a dodgy comment. Sarr's a big no from me, says Charlie. Reese says marquee signings are great, and unexpected signing is different, but we do need a far better player than Sarr personally. Which I'll get to now. Who do you think is a better player that we could go for? Who's available and who's a decent little alternative if we don't think Sarr's quite good enough? Alan, I'll go to you first.
I don't know, mate. I feel when you look at a right winger option, Chiesa is a good option from Syria.
Mm-hmm.
But Chiesa, because he's got the pace, he keeps the width. Physicality could be an issue here. But yeah, Chiesa could be one of them. But still, if we do not end up with Jadon Sancho this summer, if it's a deadline deal for Sarr, I think we should take it, because at least we can play him in some games, maybe against teams that sit back. We can he can keep the width there as well. But in terms of crosses, it's more questionable there as well. Let's see what will happen.
Very interesting. I mean, I personally think if it was a deadline day deal, I think we should stay away from it. I think you might as well just wait for Sancho. But I think this is definitely, it has panic buy written all over it. If we don't get Sancho done, we're going to end up going for Watford and getting Ismaila Sarr. And that means we probably don't get Sancho unless this Daniel James to Leeds rumour has anything to it. Arpan, what do you reckon?
See, if we're having Sarr and if we already have Dan James, like, what's the difference? Dan James is quick, Sarr is quick. Apart from the physicality side of the thing, I don't think Sarr and Sarr and Dan James offer anything different, like, compared to each other. On the flip side, I think Dan James is a better crosser of the ball compared to Sarr. Sarr might add that to the physicality side of things. But, if you ask me, for me, it would be Sancho or nothing. If we are spending 40 mils on Sarr, if we have to, because if it's a panic buy, since you said it has panic buy written all over it. Now, if it is a panic buy, then we will have to pay whatever money that Watford asked for. And we are not really good with that. We are not really good with negotiation. We have seen that for quite some time now. Now, if we are spending 40 mils on Sarr, and there is a high possibility that he might not come that good as Sancho, he will not come that good as Sancho. So it's of no worth. Other than that, I would say maybe Federico Chiesa. Chiesa is good when it comes to crossing the ball. He is good. Maybe physically, I don't know. But I think adding a more versatile player. Maybe Sancho. I'm all in for Sancho. That's all I want.
Yeah,
if you ask me, Sancho or nothing.
I think we all are. I think we're all Sancho FC here. Yeah. Let us know in the comments. If not Ismaila Sarr, who do you think we should get? The lads seem to think Federico Chiesa could be an option. I personally would agree. I think he is a decent little option, but I don't see a lot of other people that we could get. Charlie's come in and said we would have taken Bale, but everyone was saying no. No Bale. He's not the same player, and I don't think Spurs will get the most out of him. A lot of people saying this is a good point. I think most people want a right footer because they don't see Wan-Bissaka as a provider, which is very true, because if you want balance in your team, at the minute we have Rashford who comes in off the left with Luke Shaw on that side, or Brandon Williams, or maybe Alex Telles if he comes in. That's your attacking output who provides the width. On the right side, you need someone who's going to be attacking, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not as good going forward. So to provide that balance, you might need a right footer on that side rather than a left footer. Deadline day signing equals David Brooks. No, let's not go there. Oh, big shout here, Kingsley Coleman. That was a link earlier on in the summer. Obviously, I think his injury record might put me off him a little bit.
I think Bayern won't sell him this season because he scored the winner.
True. He has a ridiculous record of winning. Is it a league title every season he's played?
Every season he's played.
Yeah,
that's a ridiculous record. Right, let us know anyway what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video because why not? It takes about 2 seconds of your time. Do it. We've got some more stories now. We've been through the ins. Let's go through the outs. First one, let's go for a confirmed out. It's a here we go from Romano. It's Andreas Pereira to Lazio. A lot of people were saying that the €27 million fee is a bit ridiculous because it is. I don't know how we've got them to agree to that. But looking deeper into it, it is a loan with an option to buy. So it's a 1-year loan, and the €27 million is at the end of the season. If Lazio choose to take that option, they go for it. They sign Andreas Pereira. Alpan, talk me through how we've managed to convince someone to that he's worth 27 million.
So I'll tell you what happened backstage. Okay, hear me out. Just hear me out. Okay. So you know that United fans are very good at face swapping, right? So we took some videos of Prime Best, okay, Best in his prime, and face swapped his face with Andres Pereira and sent it to Lazio. That is what has happened.
I would not be surprised if what? Hang on a minute. How would anyone? What? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's not even legal, but we'll go with it. I don't personally understand how they managed. Obviously, there's every possibility they don't take that option. They could always just go, hang on a minute, we've had some kind of tomfoolery happen here. We don't know what's happened. We're not taking this guy. Take him back. We're not paying 27 mil. How likely is that to happen?
Well, I think it's a good deal which United did right now. And it's a heavy group from Fabrizio as well. And he's been a fringe player for us. Ole doesn't rate him. I think it's been ages since he's seen the substitute bench there. And experience in Serie A, he could improve there as well. Maybe he could break some record for Lazio. We don't know. Because we don't have any sellable assets at United at the moment. Among the fringe players, maybe some players from a starting 11, but still due to the exorbitant wages, we're not able to sell any of our players. But I think the critical point here is that we were able to decide on the wages, like who will pay the more percentage of the wages when Andres goes on loan to Lazio.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no real details on who pays how much, but all we know is that the wages are being shared. I saw a comment here. Maybe Lazio saw some pre-season videos. Pre-season Pirlo. It is a weird one. I don't know how we've managed to get that one done, but it seems as though
maybe Lazio is getting taken over by some UAE owner.
And they're just throwing money around for the fun of it.
Yeah, that's what they do.
I did see somewhere that they might potentially be in for Juan Mata as well, which I think is quite interesting.
As well, yeah.
That league would suit Juan Mata, I think, down to a T. But yeah, Andres Pereira is out of here. We don't need to deal with him anymore. Another player that's on his way to Italy is, I mean, our transfer out stories today are dominated by Italy. It seems as though they're trying to do us a favor. Italy are always doing us favors. First into Milan, now the rest of the clubs are getting on the act. We're talking Chris Smalling now. Fabrizio Romano came out last night, or was it this morning? I can't remember. I'm not fully awake yet. Chris Smalling. Roma have reopened talks for a permanent move for Chris Smalling. Obviously, United's original asking price was £18 million. Roma haven't quite matched that at the minute, but it looks as though they've reopened discussions for him. Alan, how important is it that we get rid of Smalling, or do you think that we could potentially keep him around?
Yeah, it's very important right now because we need to trim our squad at the moment in order to bring in more signings. And if we are targeting for a centre back next season, if we are targeting, I think it's important that we offload Smalling because Smalling's a fan favorite in Roma. They want him back. Smalling wants to go back. Ole doesn't want him here. And from Ole's presser as well, we could understand that he didn't want Smalling, Rojo, Romero in the team anymore. Maybe even Dallo. So It's very important for him. And today it's pretty interesting that from a Roman-based news outlet, El Gazito, I think the name is. I saw news saying that United have offered Smalling to Lazio as well. So that could be interesting. What happened there?
Smalling to Lazio.
Lazio,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lazio becoming the second. Yeah. I'll jump in.
Tell us what you think.
See, I think Roma lost to Juventus last night, or was it a draw? I don't really remember. All I saw was Ronaldo, like, again, out jumping Michael Jordan. So that's all I've been seeing. Yeah, even I'm not fully awake. But the thing is, see, if we have to buy another centre back next season, I don't think it's a question of whether we would buy. It's a thing like we have to buy another centre back. I cannot see Victor Lindelof acting like a man made of straw week in, week out in that United defense and offering the pace of a rotten rabbit. So yeah, in a way, sorry if I'm going a bit harsh. As I said, I'm not fully awake. So the thing is, basically, if Smalling goes to Roma, I think after he went to Roma, last season he turned into prime Maldini. Or prime Virgil van Dijk, prime Smaldini, as we all know him. So yeah, let's let him. I would say if we need to trim our squad, we already have two people occupying the hospital beds, Phil Jones and Eric Bailly. Yeah, and like we need a player who can actually defend, not made of wet socks. But yeah, I think Smalling to Lazio, as you said, Alan, La Gazzetta, I think they are pretty reliable. Lazio is also they share the same, like a similar shade of blue, so like Inter Milan. So I think they have made it like, okay, I signed this guy, you signed this guy, so it's gonna be one of those things between them. They can decide whoever they want to take. But I think we should offload Smalling. Although I like, see, the thing about Smalling is he will play 89 minutes without making a single mistake. And one moment, the most important moment, he will either give away a penalty or score an own goal or do something to get the match against us. So I am all for offloading Smalling.
Yeah, comment agrees with you here. Selling Smalling makes sense.
Somebody agrees with me.
Doing his form now. We may not get that price if we keep him, which is a good point. He might play himself out of form and then the value goes down. But definitely, I agree. We do need centre backs. We do need reinforcements there. It seems as though Axel Tuanzebe is back in training. Ted Mengi is obviously highly rated at the club. For now, it looks like we're putting faith in them, but we definitely need to sign someone. Because that is a position that is a big problem. Mark's coming with part-time footballer, full-time hospital patient, Phil Jones.
Phil Jones.
Phil Jones is the reason the NHS is so busy. Jesus Christ. Here we go. This is what happened to Roma.
He should get a doctor's degree by now.
He spent that much time in hospital. Reese is coming telling us what happened to Roma yesterday. Was it the day before? Something like that. Drew 2-2, Ronaldo saving Pirlo. Roma's first game also was changed to a 3-0 defeat. Fielding an illegible player. Oh.
Yeah. I think they named one player who was not supposed to be in the squad, and they were handed a 3-0 defeat for that.
Jesus Christ!
I think it's related to age, right? What's his name?
Imagine, like that is the reason they're trying to sign Smalling.
Imagine naming an ineligible player. That's something like that happens at Sunday League. There's something Paddock have to be aware of.
That is the reason they're signing Smalling anyway.
So they can stop naming players that aren't allowed to play.
Right. No, that is because just their Sunday League standard.
Exactly. Our last story then is Diogo Dalot. Fabrizio Romano came with another tweet, as he always does. He's given us loads of United content in the last couple of hours. Diogo Dalot is apparently interested is bringing up interest from AC Milan, another Italian club. They want a loan. United want to sell him permanently. Now, clearly, Ole does not fancy him. He does not see a future of him. He's not been in his plans in a long time now. Is it a bit harsh? I'll go to you first. Diogo Dalot, a lot of people seem to like him on social media. I'm a bit on the fence with him. What do you think? Is he worth keeping? Should he be gone?
I think people like him because he can cross the ball. If you look at Dalot above the center circle, he is somewhere between a mix of Alexander-Arnold and some very good right back, like maybe a Kyle Walker. If that is like above the center circle, but if you look at him when he's defending, I can rather ask my little brother to go there and defend, and he will do a better job. To be very honest, but Dalot and who is he up against? Wan-Bissaka. Like, is he ever getting a sniff? Is he ever getting a sniff? He's not. Wan-Bissaka, even in his worst day, is a better defender than Dalot. Fair play to the man. Fair play. He's a good player. He's a good player, and He's just 21. He has a lot of time in his favor, so he has a time in his side. So I think he will be a better player if he goes to maybe Italy, where there would be less pressure, where there would be less things to, he will have the time to cross the ball, because English Premier League is, as we all know, the Premier League is really fast, it's physical, and it does not always suit the kind of player we have from Portugal. Always, I'm not taking Wolves into consideration right now. And so Dalot is, I think he will flourish. I think he will play better when it goes to AC Milan, if he goes to AC Milan, because he would have a target man over there, Ibrahimovic, and a person to put the cross to. And we can, I think, if you ask me, to be honest, I also like Dalot going forward, and maybe we can sell him with a buyout clause, a buyback clause with some money, if we can do that, because you never know when we might need one. And right at this point of time, I do not think, apart from Wan-Bissaka, we have a proper designated right back in the side. Yeah, I know Brandon Williams is actually a right back, but I would say maybe I'm still a little bit on the fence with Dalot, but I'm in for offloading him. I'm in.
Alan, weigh in. What do you think?
Well, I totally agree with Arpan here. Doing a deal with buyback clause is a good option, but will the board are they intelligent enough to do such a deal? I think he might end up going on a loan, maybe, because at the moment it's very hard to sell a player like Dalot, because he's been affected by injuries recently, and I feel he's not been given a lot of chances by Ole as well, because Wan-Bissaka has been dominating in defense. If you look at the defense, he's the best defender in the team, and it's been important to us as well in terms of conceding goals. So I think going to Italy, he'll be having less media attention. He'll be able to focus on his football a lot more. Maybe he can improve a bit, and we'll see what will happen next year.
Yeah, I think Dalot's an interesting one. I think there are good things about Dalot, and I know some people say maybe we should try him at right wing. No, that's just not on. We can definitely get better than Dalot. I think the problem with Dalot is, because Ethan Laird is progressing quite quickly, that's what's making it difficult for us to sort of justify keeping him, because Ethan Laird is probably as good, if not better than Dalot going forward already. And defensively, he's probably as good as Dalot and can improve. So it makes sense to keep Laird and cash in on Dalot. And Dalot was obviously signed because Mourinho wanted him to swing those crosses into Lukaku. So we're not playing that kind of way anymore, so he doesn't suit our style. Reese has jumped in and said, I'd get rid of Fosu-Mensah before Dalot. Good shout, and I think that might happen as well. But clearly, Ole seems to like Fosu-Mensah over Dalot at the minute, so he might still have a part to play.
I think he's a bit more versatile.
Yeah, a lot more versatile.
Stadium as well, so
a lot more versatile.
An emergency comes.
Jacob says, we haven't seen anywhere near enough of Dalot. He plays in low-key games most of the time. He did okay against PSG. Probably a bit too stocky for a modern fullback. I don't know. I think we've seen maybe not enough of him, but we've seen enough to know that maybe we can do better than him. In terms of the buyback, Mark said they did that with Depay. Dalot would be sought after and would be easy to get interest. Yeah, definitely. He's got age on his side, so that's what's going to help us out with that. But yeah, those are our transfer stories at the minute. Just to wrap up, it seems as though United are trying to sell players to raise funds to complete our transfers. So my question to both of you, I'll start with Alan, is, are United about to do a madness in the last few days of the transfer window? Go.
Well, I'm forced to watch Jim White in a yellow tie yet again. So I think, it's going to be madness, because already we are getting in a lot of tweets from reliable journalists saying that a bid is going in. we might be seeing a lot of outgoings, incomings moving forward in terms of Telles and maybe Sancho or an alternative with someone like Sarr. So it's pretty interesting what's going on. I know what's going on there at United because Woodward might be at the moment he might be looking at outgoings rather than the incomings because outgoings are very important to the squad in terms of squad registration, trimming the squad, then renewing the contracts. I feel Woodward from this window onwards he has to realize that he shouldn't renew the contracts of each and every young player after every year. Increasing the wages. I think the board should learn a lot of lessons from this window, but they didn't learn a lot of lessons from the last window as well. So, yeah, all day, every day, it's the same thing. What we are seeing, United transfer window again after Champions League.
Lovely. Alban, are we about to see some madness in the last couple of days of the transfer window?
Well, if we see actually a madness in the last couple of days in the transfer window, I think we're gonna get our pants pulled down again, like the way it happened with Di Maria, the way it happened with Falcao. As like the last day of the season, we're just trying to find an advertisement, find a mannequin for our jersey sponsors or Adidas. So since like they said that we'll give you 25 million euro, you need to find a player who would sell the jersey. That's all. We're not. This is not a transfer window. This is not how Manchester United should go about their business. Can you imagine? Liverpool were going in for Thiago and they signed Jota just like that. What did we do? We went for Donny van de Beek. We signed him. That's all we have done in this entire transfer window. Like Pep lost 5-2. The next day he got in another defender. Next day, 65 mils. Okay, just pay the money and bring in. If Manchester United are having to depend on the player sales to fund one transfer, then I am not really hopeful about the finances of the club. I do not think, as we have said, as I've said before, I've spoken to multiple journalists and all of them do agree that we have survived, we have to suffer a huge financial loss. But at the end of the day, 120 mils is not a huge financial loss. Cannot be like it's Manchester United we're talking about. Can you imagine the number of fans? I'm sitting in India. I'm sitting here in India. We have fans in India. The three of us are Indians. So, can you imagine the number of fans we have? Can you imagine the number of profit, the amount of profit we get from the jersey sales and this membership and all these things, merchandise? I do not think. I think if we're in for a transfer madness, I do not think it's gonna suit us anyway. Maybe we will get to see one or two more signings, or maybe 3 or 4 guys getting rid of. We should get rid of these guys, the deadwood. Other than that, I'm not really hopeful. If Sancho comes in, I'd be really happy. I'd be really, really, really happy, just like all of us, all the viewers. Apart from that, I do not see anything else happening.
Yeah, it seems as though there are 2 players that are ready to come into Manchester United. Obviously, Alex Telles and Jadon Sancho could well be done. And there seems to be 3 sales that are on the way as well. Are these sales funding the transfers, or are the transfers on the way anyway? Have we just waited this long just to be dramatic? Are we just waiting to increase, interactions? I don't know what it is. It seems as though deadline day will be busy. So, nice little plug here. You'll be proud of me, guys. In that case, watch our deadline day special on All for United. It's going to be all covered here. It looks as though United will be busy on deadline day, so make sure you tuned in to the deadline day special on All for United. Mark will be there, I'm sure. I'm sure the rest of the guys will cover that well and good. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. I'm sure we've covered all the transfer news. I'm sure there'll be more to come. There's a Brighton preview on the way. Another Brighton preview. Yes, guys, there is another Brighton preview. We're playing them again. So make sure to tune in for that. Make sure to tune into all the content on All for United because everyone is bloody brilliant. Thanks to my 2 guests for joining me in the middle of the afternoon over there. I've got to shoot off to uni, so make sure to like the video, comment what you think is going to happen in the transfer video. Make sure to share the video because sharing's caring in this troubled time of the pandemic. And until the next video, I will see you in a bit. Cheers, guys.